Tell us, sir, what should be done seriously to help the country and the countrymen. For no philosophy, nor books, nor talks can solve this problem. Tell us seriously what should be done to help the country and the people of the country. For no philosophy, no books, no talks can solve these problems. Are you quite sure that no philosophy, no leader, no book, Gita, Upanishad, Brahma Sutra, no book, no philosophy, no leader will help this country or yourself? Are you quite sure of that? You understand my question? Or is it just a rhetorical question? If you are serious and you say none of these will help, and you have clear about it, that no book, no leader, no outside agency, nobody can help you, right? To bring about a transformation, a change, radical change in the structure of this country. Moral, ethical, aesthetic, social. Are you quite sure when you put that question that they cannot? Or you're just playing with words? If you're quite sure that nobody can help you, then what will you do? You know the country is corrupt. You cannot rely on any politician. The people who write books about something, beyond the mind or in the mind or something or other, they don't know what they're talking about. Right? Right? So what will you do? Come on, sirs. What will you do? Huh? We have looked at the problem. Who is not? I am just, please, madam, we are looking at the problem. The problem is overpopulation, the division in class, the lack of right education, tradition, and we have so depended on others, right? Books, leaders, one after the other you have had, right? And the country, the people have not changed. So what will you do? What will you do, sir, when you realize this? Beg pardon? Are you accepting responsibility? Are you accepting the responsibility? Are you accepting the responsibility for yourself to see that you behave properly? Or is it again that's just talk? So do you know what is happening to this country? Do you all realize? I've been coming to this, speaker has been coming to this country every winter for the last 60 years. You have advanced technologically. You are as clever, as inventive as anybody else. And you, as a human being, are slowly dying. You have the culture that this country has had gone, finished, torn apart. Right? Everyone is living for himself. He's not concerned about his son's future, his grandson's future. You're not concerned of your neighbor. You follow? You're not concerned at all about others except about yourself. The country is breaking up. Tamil Nadu, Telugu Nadu, whatever Nadus you have. This country is breaking up. The family is breaking up. And there is no new flame. You are just repeating. When you repeat, there is certain dead security. And you are in that state now. What are we going to do? What are you all going to do, sirs? Education, you know what it is in this country. It is the lowest. Professors who have been from abroad, teachers from abroad have told me. They come here to investigate, says there is no education at all, just bookwork, learning, memorizing. You understand? So education is at its lowest ebb. There is violence hidden. It may explode at any time. There's all the preparation for war. So the country is facing a tremendous crisis. Your country, the land on which you are living, and you don't seem to care. And you build temples. Go to the temples, take vows, you follow. Professionally, you're a lawyer or an engineer, and go to a temple with all the superstitions. You follow the contradiction. For God's sake, realize what's happening. So what will you do? Or will you do nothing as you are, what is happening now? Do nothing. Go down the drain. You look at me, don't look at me, sirs. Let's not look at the land that you are despoiling, the beauty of the country. Will you undertake the responsibility? Not verbally, but actually to be responsible for what you are, what you do, what you think, how to behave honestly, with integrity. Not be, so you know what, will you? That's the only thing that's going to change this country. There are a group of people who are really concerned with the future of this country. Because the politicians are not. The gurus are not. What's going to happen to your grandchildren? So if you seriously undertake that you will be totally responsible for yourself, that you will be generous, you will not be corrupt. You may lose your job, lose your job. Starve, die, you follow sir, hold to something. Then you will probably help the country to become something totally different as it is. It's a beautiful country. Vast space, marvelous rivers and trees and mountains. Somebody said the other day, it's a lovely country except for the Indians. Yes, sir, face it. What is sorrow? The question asks. Aren't you in sorrow when you see all this going on in this country? Or is sorrow only when you personally are affected? You understand, sirs, my question? Is sorrow only when my son dies? Or the sorrow of seeing what is happening in this country? What is sorrow? Sir, don't answer so quickly. What is sorrow? Tears, pain, self-pity, the loss of somebody who you love, if you love, which I doubt. You are attached. Love is not attachment. You are attached to your wealth, to your property. You follow? You are attached. Is that love? Is sorrow personal, or there is sorrow in the world of which you are? You follow? We have reduced everything to a small, limited me, my pain, my sorrow, and I hold to that. We don't see the sorrow of man, of which you are. So have you ever realized, historically, for 5,000 years, there have been wars, practically every year. This is historical. And see how many women, men, maimed, shed tears, the loneliness, the brutality of all that. You understand, sir? Isn't that a great sorrow? Isn't it a great sorrow that poor man round that corner will never be clean? You understand? Never have clean clothes, never go in a jet, never ride in a comfortable car. Don't you realize all this? Isn't that a sorrow to realize such state exists? So, the understanding of sorrow is the ending of sorrow. Right? So this requires a great deal of investigation into sorrow. Probably you have never shed tears. You have explanation for tears. Right? Karma. Some cause or other. But you have never actually suffered. Feel the intense pain of it. Because we were always seeking comfort, escape from sorrow. Right? Aren't you? That there is God, that you have paid. You follow? You've got dozens and dozens of explanations for sorrow and how to escape from sorrow. But a man or a woman who realizes the depth of sorrow either he remains with that sorrow, becomes cynical, bitter, angry, violent, or he goes beyond, he's free from sorrow. It is possible to be free from sorrow. Only then there is love. What is the nature of freedom? Why does it happen? Lead the latter part of the question, why it does happen. What is the nature of freedom? What do you mean by freedom? You have had freedom in this country since the British left. What have you done with it? Right? What do you mean by freedom? Freedom to do what you like, which is what you are doing. Freedom from anxiety. Freedom from pain. Freedom from physical pain is fairly comparatively easy. Go to a doctor, or if one has some terrible disease, you accept it and carry on. What is freedom? There is freedom from something which is not freedom. You understand? I can be free from attachment. That's fairly simple. But that's not actual freedom. I am free from a burden. But what is freedom? Will you know it when you're free? I wonder if you understand this question. When you are happy, if you are happy ever, when you are happy, when you say, how happy I am, is that happiness or is it only after it is gone? You understand my question? Can you ever know or recognize or experience complete freedom? Not from anything, freedom. When you say, I am totally free, then you are not free. Right? It's like a man who says, I know. Then he does not know. So freedom is something, sir, that you cannot experience. Like enlightenment is not to be experienced. Because where there is experience, there is an experiencer. And the experiencer must recognize the experience, otherwise it's not an experience. So freedom is not an experience. It is a state of being, not becoming. That's enough, sir, this morning.